All right, here is a brief tutorial video on how to use the Google Calendar that's embedded on your website. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to go back to the address bar and you need to make sure that you go to google.com/calendar. When you press enter, it will take you to the Google Calendar site. Now, what you're probably going to notice while it's loading is that over here you're going to see that I am already logged in using the OBCS news@gmail.com account. If you're not logged in, it will require you to actually log in before it will allow you to get to the view that we're going to now. So you'd have to click on sign in there and then sign in using the username and password provided in the email. So once you end up getting to this view after you've signed in, you'll notice that you've got your calendars down this side, and by default we're in the weekly view. It's very simple to switch to the monthly view. You just go up here and click on month, and what you'll notice is that there's certain things that are on the calendar by default. You notice that there's some holidays and different things on the calendar. If we go to my calendars, you're going to notice that you've got OBCS general calendar. You've got other calendars on there. You've got holidays in Canada. That's what makes these different things appear. So you can actually turn those off or you can turn them on, whatever you prefer. What I'm going to do is show you how to add a new item to the calendar. So we're going to go to any date that you want. So let's say, for example, Friday the 16th here. If I double click on there, or if I just single click, sorry, I'm going to get a box that comes up. Now I can quickly add something here by putting the title of the event in the what box. What I prefer to do actually is I prefer to go to edit event. So click on edit event, and that gives me all of the details and all of the different things that I would want to add to the event on the calendar. When it comes to adding things to the calendar, the more information you can put in there, the better. Generally speaking, people will get used to consulting the calendar if you add everything there, and it'll actually result in way fewer emails and phone calls for the school for detailed information about whatever events that you have coming up. The other nice thing is you can refer people to the calendar. Whenever they ask questions, you can just send them the link right to the calendar and say, this is where the information is. In the future, you can just go there. So it becomes more self-serve and saves you a lot of time in the long run. So when we've got, we're back to our event here. So I'm actually going to add the event. So I'm going to say sample event. You would, of course, put your title. You can choose a date range. So if you've got something that's actually going to go for more than a single day event, you can have a range of dates there. In that case, you would always have all day checked. In this case, I'm going to add something, let's say it's an evening event. I'm going to uncheck all day. And once I do that, it actually gives me time options. So I'm going to change that here. I'm going to go down here and say that the event starts at 6 p.m. By default, it'll put the end time to an hour. I can change that as well. So let's say that's a 2-hour event from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to enter the location. This is actually a very important thing to do because it answers a lot of people's questions so that they don't actually have to call and ask where it is, or when they get into the building, they're not stopping or walking around trying to find you. I'm going to say this event takes place in the library. It actually pops up some suggestions for things. If you just click off there, it'll just let you do your own. If you have more than one calendar, which you don't for this particular site, you could actually assign it to different calendars. By default, it goes to the general calendar. And description is actually where you can add detailed information. This is really important to be adding this kind of stuff here because, like I said, if parents or community members are looking for more information about the event, they can consult this. So for example, if you need people to bring something in particular, if this were a ski trip, you could say remember to dress in layered clothing, etc. You can choose a color for the event, but I recommend just leaving it as per. And then what you would do after that is you would say save. So what you'll do is you'll actually notice that it comes up here in the calendar. I'm just going to click and add another event, and I'm going to go back to edit event again, and I'm going to say sample event 2, and this one here I'm actually going to put a date range in there so you can see what it looks like. So I'm going to say sample event 2 goes from Friday, January 16th to the 18th. Okay, and I'm going to say that this one occurs in the gym, and then I'm going to put something in there, so have fun, and I'm going to say save. So you'll notice here that it actually appears as a solid bar here, and that's because it actually goes over multiple events. So when people are looking at the calendar, they can see at a glance things that go over multiple days, or things that go or things that take place just on one day. If you need to edit an event or remove an event, simply click on the event and you can choose delete or you can choose edit. In this case, I'm going to choose delete, and for this one here, I'm also going to choose delete because we don't want that up on the calendar for the actual site. I'm going to choose delete there as well.